Hey house guests, welcome to today's BB20 updates and spoilers. Our house guest today is Carl Van Bergen. Carl, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it, and we hope you're enjoying this crazy season so far. I know I am. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day like Carl, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Boy, do we have a show for you guys. Oh my god. Remember when I ended yesterday's spoiler and I was like, it's Sunday, nothing that interesting is gonna happen probably, but like, yeah, things really popped off. Just you wait, Hamilton. So yesterday, Haley began her crap app punishment, and as I've told you guys, she chose the Read It app. So at 1:40 p.m., this like Shakespearean voice announces to read or not to read. And this was actually the end of her first reading segment. The feeds were blocked during it, but like they didn't block it every time, just for that first one. So whenever she hears that, she has to put on her costume, which is like this green flowy gown with the bell sleeves and like this, you have to lace it up in the back. So I mean, a little bit of time goes into this. She's got this white headpiece with the fabric hanging down. So it's like she's getting ready to go to, what's that place called that I like? With the knights.
Medieval times?
Medieval times! It looks like she's getting ready to go to medieval times. Or like a Ren Fair or something. So once she's all dressed, she has to stand on her soapbox and read Hamlet aloud. And she's gonna have to do this punishment until she makes it through the whole book. Okay, so I think this punishment is awesome. Now they have a book besides the Bible to look at, which is fun. And another element of this, she's supposed to use like I guess a British accent is what she's going for, but she's already got her Texas accent, and I guess she's not really good at accents, so it's coming out really strange and not consistent. It's fun to watch. But anyway, she also keeps stopping to explain stuff to her listeners instead of just reading it straight through. At least she wants them to enjoy the work, right? But Big Brother is doing her dirty. It's not like they just let her read for like 20 minutes at a time. Sometimes they'll call her to read, she gets all dressed, and then she won't even finish a full page. And they're like, alright, that's it. Or like, they'll call her again right after she changes out of the outfit. So I mean, it's rough. But I think she's already like 300 pages in real time, so she'll be fine. It's gonna be over in no time. And I think she is having fun with it. Okay, moving on because we have a lot of other stuff to talk about. So Bailey and Brett were having a game chat in the storage room, and Brett was like, I just don't understand how no one seems to be upset about what Caitlyn did last week. You know, she freaking went against her own alliance and took out Swaggy. This would be the perfect opportunity for Scotty to take her out and not have any blood on his hands. So Bailey's like, people are upset with Caitlyn. That was a big deal. So she tells Brett, let me let you in on a little secret. You know, you're talking about Caitlyn right now, but she is the only person who is pro keeping you here this week. Which is definitely not true, because most of Brett's side wants to keep him. But I think she was referring to the people on her side, because then later she was like, oh, what does your side think? So I think she meant out of her group, which is true. Caitlyn at the time did want Brett to stay, but she's been flip-flopping all week so far. So Brett's like, wow, that's really weird, because I've been hearing the exact opposite from JC. At one time, Caitlyn was saying she wanted Brett to go, so people are getting really confused about where she stands because she's flip-flopping so much, and it's gonna get her into some trouble. So then Bailey tells him, people are really threatened by you because you're so charming, you're so good with so many people. It's threatening, you know? They want to get rid of you while they still can. Also, Haley and Rockstar think that you're targeting them because, you know, the rumors going around that you said that they flipped the vote the first week. Also, people know that Winston is a hothead, and they feel like they can just keep him around and keep putting him up on the block, and he's just gonna break. So Bailey is like, you know what, I like you, I think you're cool, I'll see what I can do for you. She says that she can use some muscle behind her now that Swaggy's gone. So Brett is like, cool, but he's just not sure why JC is lying to him like this. It's interesting too because JC has been very vocal about wanting Brett out this week. But when he's talking to Brett, he's like, oh yeah, let me see what I can do for you, blah, blah, blah. So it's very confusing for Brett to hear this. All right, so then after that conversation, Bailey talks to the cameras, and she's like, whoa, everyone's approaching me now and trying to talk game with me. They all think that I'm vulnerable now because Swaggy C is gone. And she said she's going to keep, you know, playing that damsel in distress that needs to be saved because, hey, it's working for her so far. True. Alright, so then Bailey and Caitlyn were chatting. Oh my god. So much info is about to be exchanged here. Whoa. So Bailey first tells her about the chat that she just had with Brett before. So she's like, okay, brace yourself here. You have to promise me you're not going to tell anybody. Brett told me that JC suggested to him that he go to Scotty and try to get Scotty to use the veto on him, and then have you go up as the replacement nominee. Ah! So Caitlyn is freaking shook. She's like, oh my god, JC said that. Why would he come at me like that? Why is he trying to get me on the block? Can I go start a riot? So Bailey's like, no. Why don't you go ahead and keep that to yourself? Because Scotty's not going to use the veto. So there's no reason to cause any drama right now. Don't worry about it. She says that she doesn't think that Brett's even going to talk to Scotty about that. He already did with Winston. They had their like 1 a.m. meeting with Scotty, but Scotty was not biting. So then Bailey is like, honestly, I think JC is just trying to cover his butt right now because he's playing both sides, and I think he's worried that if the veto were to be used, he could possibly go up as the replacement nominee. So Caitlyn's like, okay, sure. But they agree at this point that they both really like Brett and they want him to stay. And they think it's good that they're in here early because Brett will know that they were in his corner from the start. Were you? Okay, so then Caitlyn shares a lot of info. First of all, she's pissed at JC now that she's heard this. So she's telling Bailey, last week when I was like indecisive about whether I wanted to keep Swaggy or not, JC kept telling me that Swaggy had to go and I was going to look like an idiot if I made this big move and then went back on it. And then she had a lot of other info to share too. She lets Bailey know that she flipped her vote the first week. That was her who voted out Steve. And she hasn't told Rockstar or Scotty at this point, but like pretty much everybody else knows. I think it was Haley who told Rockstar, so she knows. Scotty is probably like the only one still in the dark at this point. So Caitlyn also shares that Sam got the first power because of course Caitlyn's got to tell her whole story about how she was a have-not, and then Tyler approached her about the power and blah blah blah, and then she went HOH, and you know the whole story. It's a lot. So she said, yes, Sam has the power, and she's super grateful because I saved her. So if Scotty puts me up as the replacement, Sam is gonna save me with her power. And also, Scotty voted out Swaggy last week. What? So Bailey's mind is like freaking blown right now. All this information coming at her. It's like if somebody from the 1600s went to the middle of Times Square and they're just like, that is what this is like right now. So anyway, Bailey is telling Caitlyn, you know what, you should probably keep your first week vote a secret from Scotty still because he's probably not going to like that. You know, there's no reason right now to put that target on yourself. Just chill. Alright, so then after promising not to tell the info that Bailey shared about her chat with Brett, Caitlyn tells Tyler the info that she got from Bailey. She's like, yeah, I heard that JC was telling Brett to try and get me backdoored, blah, blah, blah. JC's got to go home immediately. So we know that Tyler is super close to JC. He's probably like a top 2 for Tyler, right? Tyler's top 2 is like JC and Casey, I believe. So Tyler is like, are you sure JC really said that? You know, he's trying to deflect here. Maybe somebody made that up. And Caitlyn's like, I don't think so. So she says she wants Brett to stay this week because he's going to go after JC and Scotty. Nope. Brett wants to go after Rockstar and Fessy, but okay. So let's talk about Sam for a little bit. she has been very, like, not playing the game so far, you know? She's, like, really just getting to know people on a personal level. But she had a little bit of a game freak out yesterday. She was in the HOH room with Scotty, and she was like, are you gonna put me up? Now remember, a few days ago, she made Scotty pinky swear to put her up as the replacement if the veto was used. She was feeling real confident. So Scotty is like, no, I never wanted to put you up. I fought hard for the veto so that I could keep the nominations the same. I never wanted to go through with that pinky swear promise. So he says nothing is going to change with these nominees unless somebody has one of the power apps and messes with it. So, like, just relax. So then Sam was like, okay, that's good to hear. But then she's still like, because now she's like, oh my god, who has the other apps? Obviously she knows that she has the first one, but there's 2 other ones out there. So she asked Scotty to have a private conversation with Brett in the HOH room without Scotty. So Scotty's like, okay. So he brings Brett up to the HOH for her, and she starts freaking interrogating him. It was weird. So Sam was like, you need to tell me the truth about everything. Don't bullshit me. Don't charm me. Don't smooth talk me. I'm an effing stone wall. Okay. So basically, she wants to know if Brett has a power app or if he knows who does, because she does not want to get screwed over this week. So she's asking him, why am I hearing that Caitlyn is campaigning for you to stay when she's talking to Scotty, but then she's campaigning against you when she's talking to everybody else? And Brett's like, that's a great question. I wish I knew why. I don't get it either. I'm hearing so many different things from everybody. It's called, she's flip-flop Floaterville. She's changing her mind every 5 seconds, but they don't realize that. So Brett is promising, like, he does not have a power. He doesn't know who has the power. So then Sam is like, all right, well, could you, like, see yourself working with me in the future? And Brett's like, yeah. So Sam is telling him how she's got this new purpose in the game. She just wants to see a genuine good person win. Okay, good luck with that. So then Sam later reveals that she was feeling really paranoid because of some questions she was getting in the diary room. She was afraid that she was going to be backdoored. So welcome to the game, Sam. You're finally playing. Alright, so you know who else was super paranoid? Caitlyn. She was freaking out that Brett has a power app and that she would be going up in his place. So Rockstar went to Scotty and let him know that Caitlyn has been telling people that he said he would put her up if a power was used. So Scotty's like, I never said that. Not to her anyway. So Scotty goes to the pink room to talk to Caitlyn. Tyler is also there consoling her because, of course, she's like, ugh. So Scotty says, I didn't say you're going up. He said the only thing that she had to worry about was if Brett had a power. So then they're going back and forth, and Caitlyn's like, so you basically said that I would go up. That's what that means. Scotty clarifies he meant everyone. You know, the only thing that anyone has to worry about is if Brett has a power. Because he never said that she would go up. He's just saying everybody's got to be worried about it because then someone would have to go up. So he's like, don't tell people that I said you would go up because that's not true. So then Caitlyn's like, well, I'm allowed to be upset. I'm allowed to be upset about what I heard. Sure. Okay, so then after that, this is only the beginning. Tyler and Scotty were in the HOH room alone, and they're just like, I don't know why Caitlyn's acting this way. It's so unnecessary. It's a lot. I think it's because she's Caitlyn, but, you know, we've only known her for like 3 weeks or so. So then Tyler's talking about how he's got to talk her down all the time, like every day, and I don't know how he does it because it's exhausting just to watch it. I can't imagine actually having to do that all the time. So then Scotty spills some info to Tyler. He's like, I want to let you know, the bros came up here late last night and they tried to make a final 3 deal with me. I didn't want it. They were also trying to get me to use the veto and put up Caitlyn. So Scotty's like, honestly, I kind of want to tell Caitlyn about this because at this point she was saying that she wanted Brett to stay. So he's like, maybe if we tell her this, she won't want Brett to stay anymore. You know, she's going out there and campaigning for him and he's trying to get her up on the block. So then Scotty was in the HOH room with Haley, Bailey, Fessy, and later Rockstar. He clarifies he did not tell Caitlyn that she would be going up as the replacement. And he also spilled the same info that he shared with Tyler. You know, the bros offered me a final 3. They were trying to get Caitlyn up on the block. And Rockstar's like, oh crap, I think you should tell Caitlyn, because then, you know, we can convince her, finally, that Brett needs to go. Lulu! So they all agree at this point. They're going to vote out Brett. They say he's done. It's over. So then Bailey goes to get Caitlyn. And on the way back up to the HOH room, I think actually they were still in the bedroom, Bailey spills the info to Caitlyn before Scotty can. So she's like, oh yeah, the bros tried to make a deal and they're trying to get you on the block. So Caitlyn goes up to the HOH room. She comes in and she's like, Scotty, I already know what you're going to say. I just had a dream that the bros were trying to get me up on the block. Just stop, okay? Stop. We saw Bailey tell you, I don't know if she's trying to claim that she had a dream before that. Stop. Okay, so she's like, I'm so impressed with my skills. So then Scotty starts telling her all the stuff about the deal and trying to get the back door going. So Caitlyn's like, oh my god, I want to call a house meeting. Rockstar is like, yes, yes, yes. Because she wants to see this all play out. She could not care less if Caitlyn blows up her own game at this point. She doesn't care about Caitlyn's game. Fessy thinks it's a bad idea. He does not want to see this happen. He's like, it's unnecessary. We don't need to do it. And Caitlyn's like, you know what? I agree with you that it's unnecessary, but I need to, she was saying like stand in her truth or something. I felt like I was watching Real Housewives, but it wasn't as enjoyable. So she was like, I want to be clear, or sorry, I want it to be clear that he is effing with the wrong intuitive bitch. Are you confused that I see color and have dreams and get hits? Oh my god. So Caitlyn wants Brett out. She wants to call out the bros. She wants to step into her power. Okay, so then Caitlyn goes out to the balcony outside of the HOH room. And the bros are in the kitchen, so they're, you know, in her sight. Rockstar, she goes over to the sky bridge to watch this incognito. And Caitlyn is just staring down the bros, just like. And they ask her, what's up? So then she's just like, you guys want to tell me what's up? I'm giving both of you the opportunity to tell me what's up. So just tell me what's up. And they're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a power. So then Caitlyn's like, there was no conversation had up there last night. And the bros are like, let's get Scotty out here too. So Scotty hears his name, he comes out, and then Caitlyn and Scotty go downstairs because Caitlyn says she's not above anyone. Okay. It would be pretty weird if she just argued with them from the balcony the whole time. So, I mean, this is weird enough as it is. So Caitlyn is just like, I don't know what I did to deserve any of this. I thought we were friends, blah, blah, blah. And Brett's like, to deserve what exactly? Because she still didn't say at this point what the issue was. So Scotty's like, oh, she knows about the secret meeting. You know, when you tried to get her up on the block. So Caitlyn is asking, what did I do to make you feel like you could throw my name out there like that? And Brett's like, we're on the block. Like, what do you want us to do? We're trying to save our freaking A's here. So we told Scotty, yeah, it would be the least amount of blood on his hands. We gotta do what we gotta do. I just want to note here, there's a bunch of people in the kitchen at this point listening. Just quietly listening. Tyler is hiding behind the fridge. Like, taking cover. Because he does not want to be a part of this. This is like his worst nightmare. So, Brett is like, Caitlyn, I heard you were campaigning against me this morning. And she's like, me? I've been campaigning for you. So then, I mean, it kind of like fizzles out. It gets quiet. And I think Caitlyn was expecting people to jump in and back her up. And they did not. So it gets quiet. People are just like, oh, Rachel, you look so pretty in your birthday outfit. You know, they're trying to move on here. So then after a few minutes, Caitlyn jumps back in. She's like, so it was nobody else's idea to say anything to Scotty. Now, she's thinking that it was JC that told Brett because that's what she heard from Bailey. I'm pretty sure he did recommend that to Brett, But he wasn't obviously expecting that to get out, to get back to her. So Brett is like, you know what? I'm not throwing anybody else under the bus. No. So Caitlin is just going off. She's like, this is exactly why I did what I did last week, because I'm sick of effing stupid people thinking they control everything else, lying to people's faces. Can we talk about, like, what you did last week? Who you calling a liar? Who you calling somebody who thinks they control everything? Are you talking about yourself? I mean, really. So she's like, I just want everybody to see, like, if you find out somebody's talking about you, step into your power, stand up for yourself. Okay, so then she said her piece. She storms out to the backyard, slams the door. Now let's talk about the aftermath. Tyler goes over to her in the backyard. He's just like, whoa, you didn't need to blow up like that. So she's like, I'm not supposed to be triggered by them lying to my face. Trigger warning. And Tyler's telling her, maybe in the real world, but this is a game, okay? This is a game. You need to freaking reel it in. So he doesn't want to really be talking to her right now. He goes away. Fessy talks to her next. And he's like, yeah, I told you shouldn't have done that. It was not good. And Caitlin's like, what? I have to stand up for myself. So she's upset that everybody else stayed inside after she stormed out. She's like, it's so telling they didn't follow me outside and check on me. What are they saying in there? What are they saying about it? Why aren't they here? So, you know, she keeps going on about how people should have come out. Sorry about that. Okay, so then Caitlin is like, I'm about to go to the DR and say that I want out of here. Oh my god, really? So Fessy's like, really? Like, you can't go. I need you here. So yeah, she keeps threatening to leave. And then Caitlin is just crying on and off throughout the night. Why did this happen to me? It was like Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding, like the why? But I mean, she had a reason to cry like that, right? So anyway, Caitlin just keeps going on about, why didn't my friends check on me? I thought Brett was my friend. How could he do this to me? I mean, her friends did end up checking on her, but I don't think they want to be associated with her at this point. But she also said that was so brave of her to do that. Okay, so then later on, Caitlin and Brett end up talking in the have-not room. I can't go into great detail here because it's just too painful, but I'll give you some highlights. Caitlin was crying her eyes out, being so extra. I mean, like, and you said that, and we're friends, and she really thought that he was her friend. And she tells him, I would have voted to keep you even if nobody else was. I don't buy that for a second. She brings up the dream that she supposedly had about Brett and Winston selling her out to Scotty. And then she asks, do you think I like being misintuitive and knowing when something's off and knowing when the energy is weird and knowing when people are talking about me? I'm never effing wrong. I was right. Please stop. Please stop. I can't take much more. So meanwhile, Pop TV, or I just want to say, in conclusion for that discussion, Caitlin was like, okay, so where does that leave us? What are we? So Brett tells her, you just made a pretty public display against me, so we'll see. Alright. Meanwhile, Pop TV gave Rachel and Rockstar some birthday decorations and snacks and stuff, like cake pops and cupcakes and like party hats. So they're all like, yay! They sing happy birthday to them. If you're confused right now about the birthdays, it was Rachel's actual birthday yesterday. Rockstar's birthday was like 2 days after they moved in, so they didn't want her to be left out, so they gave her some stuff too. But I mean, it was a real, anybody want cake? People are always popping off on birthdays. I don't get it. So I guess it's just all the excitement in the house. So the rest of the night, there was a lot of rehashing and everything. And originally, Scotty wanted to tell Caitlin about all this because he wanted to make sure that she would vote Brett out this week because he wants Brett to go. And he did accomplish that. At this point, it seems like Caitlin wants Brett out, but he lost a few other votes. Because before, JC and Tyler were saying that they wanted Brett out, and now they've changed their mind. They feel like Brett should stay because he's got all those benefits that they were talking about before, but they didn't want to keep him because they thought he was going to be, you know, too powerful or whatever. But now he's got this huge target on him, So they feel more comfortable keeping him. And they're like, Caitlyn needs to go ASAP before we even think about getting rid of Rockstar. Oh, damn. I don't blame them. So today, another day, another episode of Caitlyn being pissed at Tyler. She's upset because he did not console her last night. Wait. That's all we need to say about that, right? So then, against the wishes of Tyler, Caitlyn decides to tell Scotty that she was the 7th vote to get rid of Steve week 1. And she's like, oh my god, are you freaking out right now? So of course she's got to tell him the whole story about how it happened. And she also drops that Sam got the power app week 1. Damn! I'm wondering if this is gonna hurt Sam and Scotty's relationship, because they are super close. But now that Scotty knows that she didn't tell him about the power, is that gonna make things weird? I don't know. But Caitlyn does not describe what the power does correctly. I can't even remember at this point if she knows what the real power is. I feel like somewhat, but she was like, yeah, I had to vote Steve out to save everyone else. Oh Lord, because she's saying if she did not vote Steve out, Sam would have been evicted, she would have used her power, and then everybody that voted Sam out would have been up on the block. What? No. Okay. So anyway, she also says, like, Sam is grateful that I saved her, so if I go up on the block, she's gonna use the power to save me. So Caitlyn's basically like, I'm telling this info right now, and you're not gonna put me up, because Sam will just save me. Alright, so she's asking Scotty, like, are you shocked? And Scotty's like, no, like, I kind of had my suspicions, you know. Honestly, I don't think Scotty really cares about the vote at this point. He knows that Caitlyn's insane, and that was all a front, you know, trying to figure out who the vote was, so that he could put up the bros, because he knew that the bros were lying about their votes. So that's what that was. But anyway, they had the power veto ceremony today. As expected, Scotty did not use the POV, so Winston and Brett are still up on the block. As of right now, Brett has the votes to stay, but there's still 3 days to go, so you never know what could happen. And oh my god, I had this thought. What if they go ahead and evict Caitlyn next week, but Sam's power has to automatically be used, and she freaking comes back? Oh my god! Maybe they should just save the bro this week and, like, get rid of Caitlyn next week. I can't. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.